Okay, today we're going to look at annual leave loading and bonuses. Now, annual leave loading is a payment that's calculated as a fixed percentage of your normal pay. Now, it's of your normal pay over a fixed number of weeks. And it's usually paid at the beginning of an annual holiday. So as school teachers, we get lots of holidays, but we are entitled to annual leave loading, and we get it paid at the end of the school year. So just before our big school break, which is considered to be our one annual holiday. So annual meaning it only occurs once per year. So if you're someone who is an employee, you would be entitled to 4 weeks leave a year. So generally when you take that 4 weeks, if you take it in smaller blocks, if your employer allows you to take 2 weeks and then another 2 weeks, it will be paid once at the beginning of the holiday period. And it's an addition to your normal pay that you receive. Remember, this is only for people who are permanent, not casual employees, obviously. Now, most annual leave loading, or what we call, sometimes it's called holiday loading, most of the time it's usually paid at 17.5%, so 17.5%. And most of the time it's 17.5% times your normal weekly wage. So this is what you would work if you didn't work any overtime, so just your normal wage times a number of weeks leave. Now, given that this is paid for most people, except for teachers, I guess, only have 4 weeks leave a year, this is normally paid, and because it's only paid once, it's generally paid times 4 weeks. So it's the number of weeks that you take as leave. Now, if your employee decides to let you take 2 weeks and then 2 weeks, you would get your 4 weeks of annual leave loading at one of those times that they've determined if they allow you to do that. So let's look at an example. So for example, Thomas works a 40-hour week. So that's his normal week. Okay, he gets $18.50 per hour, and he gets 17.5% of his 4 weeks, which is what he's entitled to, of his 4 weeks pay as holiday loading. So we need to find his holiday pay. Now remember, if you are a permanent employee, you are entitled to be paid while you are on holidays. So you get your normal pay, but this is an addition that comes once a year on top of your normal pay, and it's paid at the beginning of the time when you take your leave. Now, your normal pay normally comes as it normally would go in the bank, either each week or each fortnight or each month, however you are regularly paid. But your holiday pay will come at the start of when you take your annual holiday leave. Okay, so let's look at the holiday pay for Thomas. So he works a normal 40-hour week, so he's going to get, normally in that week, we're going to need to work out, he's going to get 17.5%. So I could put that 17.5 over 100. I could alternatively write it as 0.175. And it's 17.5% of, and probably we should work this out first. So he works 40 hours and he works $18.50 every hour. So he's 17.5%, 17.5 over 100, times his 40-hour normal working week, he would earn $2,960. If I type that into my calculator, I get $518. Now that's his extra loading. But remember, when Thomas goes on holidays, he not only gets his leave, but he also gets his pay on top of that. So the holiday pay he's going to receive will be his normal weekly wage for that week, plus his additional loading, which will be $518. So that means that in that particular week that he takes his holidays, he will get $3,478. And ideally, each week prior to that and each week after that, for the remainder of the year, he will get his $2,960. Now, if he's entitled to overtime or if he's entitled to any extra bonuses, they will be additional to that. But when we calculate this one particular loading that goes additional to your normal pay just at the beginning of when you take holidays, we only consider it to be your normal working weekly wage for that 1 week. So what you would normally get, less any bonuses, less any special allowances, less any overtime. Sometimes I can, I've talked about that a little bit today, sometimes I would normally be able to be entitled to what's called a bonus. So if we think about a bonus, this is just an extra payment that I might receive. And it might be a bonus for, let's say I might have achieved a particular goal. I know particular in the mines, teams in the mines, if they have got a certain amount of, over a certain amount of coal out in a weekly amount, then they are entitled to a bonus. Some companies give a bonus at Christmas time. So they give a bonus for their employees, and it depends on the amount of work that their employees have given over the year. And it's just paid on top of, and it's your normal pay, and it's just paid as an extra. And basically it's just like your boss saying, well done, thanks very much for your hard work. So it's just basically an extra payment, a gift, a reward sometimes for hard work in the workforce. So let's do an example. It's pretty simple. Most of the time it's paid as a percentage. Sometimes it's paid as an amount, but most of the time it's paid as a percentage. So for example, Amber's employer has decided to reward all their employees with a bonus. The bonus is 5% of their annual salary. So if Amber's annual salary is $68,560, we need to find her bonus. So her bonus is 5%, so 5 out of 100 times $68,560. Alternatively, I could, this is not an additional line of working, but I could have written the first line or 0.05 of 560. I know some of you like writing it as a decimal, giving me $3,428. So therefore, Amber's bonus is $3,428. I think overtime and bonuses are fairly straightforward. So what I'm going to get you to do is you can now work on exercise 1C, and you can start working from question 1 all the way through until question 8. Now on the PDF it's actually page 14 of the textbook, and it's 14 of chapter 1, Earning and Managing Money. And again, I will actually put this on the post, the PDF, as well as the notes that we're talking about now.